Alright, so we're doing brakes on Infinity G37 in Sport. So just to be clear, the Sport model, I'm not sure which years, but the Sport model has a bigger caliper. So that means that the rotor is bigger. The regular G37 has like 13 point something inch, it's like on the lower 13-inch rotor size. This one, which is the Sport model, it's a stick shift. I don't know if that matters, but stick shift has a Sport 13.9-inch rotors. So that means the caliper is a little bit bigger than the, I guess, the normal one. All right, so the first thing, that these are super easy to do, the pads, way easier than regular cars. So these big brake kits, most of them, probably all of them, like Brembos and stuff, they have 2 pins, 1 and 2. So first of all, right here there's little pins. So those pins go in a hole. That way there's no way that these pins will slide out, because if the pins slide out, that means your brake pads don't come out. So you don't want that to happen, right? Or your brake pads to be moving all over. So these are to keep the brake pads in there. And there's like little pins that go in so that it locks the main pin. So we have to remove that. As we see, this pin is a little bit, it's backwards. So you guys see those 2 little things? We want to make sure it's the other way. So hold on. So you guys see, I'm flipping it. And then you guys see this right here is a little pin. So we take it out. So here's one, and it's garbage because the brake pads came with new ones. So here's the other one on the bottom pin. Take it out. So now we're able to slide out the pins. So if you guys see, there's like a head right here. So obviously if I go this way, it's gonna get stuck on this side, so I have to go from this side. So just push it out like that, and here's the pin. So these are called sliding pins. And so basically these pins go right here. That way there's no way that the pins slide out. So yeah, let me get the other one out. And if you see, they're actually bent. So that's how much pressure, I guess, there's going on when you're braking. So yeah. Alright. So we got step number 1. Step number 2, we remove the hardware. Alright, so let me take it out. That's it. So since they didn't come with a new one, we're just gonna clean it up. So this one we're gonna save it for later. Alright, so we got that. Next, so since we're gonna be changing the rotors, if you guys see right now, the piston is pressing against the pads. So what we want to do right now is return the piston, because right now the pads are being pressed in. So right now we're gonna do some leverage. So since we don't care about these rotors, that's why I'm using these rotors as leverage. Make sure when you put them back, like let's say you do this last, don't damage your new rotors. So you want to do this with the old ones. And if you're gonna keep the same rotors, just make sure you're not using like metal on metal, because you're gonna damage your rotors and then they're gonna be shaking, right? So you guys see right here, I'm returning the piston, just using leverage. You guys see this piston on this side is returned pretty much. So you just keep going like this. There's 2 pistons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 pistons on each side. You go like this, and this one is returned. So earlier I moved this one, but then when I moved this one went back. So I'm gonna put the, oh wait, no, not this one. So I'm just gonna put this here so that it holds it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. So just some leverage, and then once you get that little gap, just push up and down. You want to make sure you're doing it even. So, and it should be easy to return them, push them back. So if somehow you're having an issue, that means your caliper is going back, because the piston shouldn't be like making force all the time. Only when you pretty much hit the brakes. Alright, so now see, we have made the gap on both. So we have returned both pistons back. So now we just take the brake pads out, and that's the pistons right there. So you guys see they're flat. It's gotta be flat right here. They're back. Really important that you don't damage like the seals. That's why it's easy, it's better to just push them back with the pads, because maybe some people will grab like a screwdriver and just try to push the pistons back like this, but you might actually damage it. So pretty much this is the steps that you gotta follow to do the pads, and then just reverse everything back. So right now we're gonna do the rotor. To remove the rotor, we gotta remove the caliper, this big ass caliper. So don't get confused with these two. These are probably to rebuild the calipers if something's bad. So we have to actually remove these big ones right here. So one, and there's another one right here. So these two are the ones that are actually holding the whole caliper in place. Before that, we're gonna remove this little 12 bolt, because it's gonna be on the way. So okay, so oh shit. Okay, so we remove this, and then this bracket, you're gonna move it out of the way. That way you have space to put the wrench right here on this one. The bottom one is pretty simple. All right, so
is that 22?
So it looks like this one's a 22. So I'm gonna show you a trick that I do. So first of all, I bought this wrench specially because it's like thin right here, and I find it's better if it's like straight up metal, because this one, like as you see, it's I bent it because too much torque. So we're gonna loosen this one. I hate this. Oh, shit. Okay, so it is that way. So yeah, it's this. Okay.
Wait, are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah, because it went like this. Yeah. Okay, so we got it in place, and obviously I don't have enough balls to do this myself with this, so we're gonna use some leverage. Leverage always helps. So we're gonna break it. This is my breaker bar pretty much. So see, right now I have like 2,000 pounds of torque.
2,000.
So bam, that's what you want to hear. So I broke it. Wait, so there you go.
Well, we should learn that from Angel Scotty.
Alright, so now we're gonna do the bottom one. So once again, it's this big one right here, and same thing. So I actually have the impact, the M18, but I don't have the bolt, the 22. So that's it. So now you can pause it. Okay, so now that we remove the bolts, It's still on there, but it's actually all the way out that it's not actually holding it anymore. So if you guys see right here, it's not holding it right there. So same thing with the bottom. And actually the bottom is still holding it. So right now you want to make sure you don't let the caliper just fall on the floor, hang, because you don't want to damage the brake line. So also be really careful right here with this one, because this thing is just on the way, and at least it's got this metal right here, so it's kind of protecting it. But like don't move it too rough or whatever. So alright, right now I'm gonna remove it completely, and then just we gotta put the caliper to the side, and just grab something right here and then just lay it on top of there. That way there's no like any force on the brake line. Okay, so like I said, we're resting the caliper right here, and want to make sure we don't, because if it hangs, you don't want that, because you can break or damage the brake line. So right now, damn, what the hell is this? I don't know. Right, so you just grab a hammer or whatever, and just hit it. There we go. So it's off. So that's it. We have successfully removed the pads and caliper and rotor. That's pretty much the three things that you have to remove when doing the brake job, complete brake job. So right now he's gonna clean the rotor, the new rotor. We're gonna put it back in. Make sure you clean it with brake fluid, brake cleaner. You want to make sure, like, you know, you don't touch it with your dirty hands. Also, I kind of, you guys see there's a lot of like dust, so I don't know, try cleaning inside. Try cleaning as much as you can around here, because you don't want like even like a little piece of rock when you put everything back to like go in between your rotor and the brake pad, because then that's gonna, it can cause to like scratch it, and also known as warping of the rotor. He cleaned it, brake fluid. Then I just have to be careful to, when I put it back, not to touch the important thing to touch is, you don't want to touch is the part where the pad is going. So just put the rotor back. Once the rotor is back, you might want to use a couple of lug nuts to keep it in place. Okay, so like I said, just put some lug nuts to keep the caliper. So it's kind of important to have it in place, because I think the main reason is you don't want the back shield touching the rotor. So right now, if I was to take these off, the rotor is gonna lean back, and it's gonna be touching the metal. So that metal may contain some dust. So we want, like I said, we want to avoid having any dust or anything on the caliper, on the rotors. He kind of just made a mistake by touching the back. So see, so right now I'm just gonna spray the back again. See, that's exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so right now we're gonna put the caliper back. When you tighten it, you want to do like 1 and 1, You don't want to do one first and then the other because you want it to tighten evenly. You can pause it. Okay, so like I said, when you tighten it, just go one until it's tight. That way it goes in evenly. And then right here, you just, with the force of your hand, and then go up here, same way. Okay, so now you can go like to Google and do the exact torque specs, but right now we're just gonna, I just grab this and just feel it like tight. That's it. If you don't want to overdo it, so just that's it. So we have our caliper back in place. We have our bracket back in place. Everything looks good. Like I said, we tightened in the two main ones. So we're good. And now we're gonna put the pads, the new pads in. So bring the pads. The whole piston pushback, they should just slide out in pretty easily, you see, because you have the space. Then I'm just going to grab the other one. Then remember, safety first. We put the jack stands
And the wheel.
and I always put a wheel right there just in case. Alright, so we're going to put our new pad, and obviously just follow the curve. It's got to follow the curve of the rotor. And see how easy it went. Alright, so I'm just gonna reuse the same one, and I clean it up because, like I said, it's dusty, so you want all that gunk out. And this, you just put it on top of here. Just like that. Right. So just like that. So these corners are out, and then we're gonna put our put it on the other way. Like that. So fucked up. I don't know why. Whatever. Doesn't matter. All right.
Does that matter?
So we have our new pins, and then remember, put it the same way. I don't know if it matters, but I'm just gonna put them the way that they were. So it goes through the pad first. That's why the pads have the holes on it, and then it goes under this metal, and then it goes over this metal, and then it goes under again, and then we align it with the pad again, the hole, and then you just have to move around the pad, and see, now it's all the way in. So just want to make sure it's all the way in on the end. That's it. So now we do the other one, same thing. So pad, under, over, under, pad. And it makes sense because the fact that this goes over the metal right here, it keeps this in place. Alright, and then just wiggle it around. Then we have to sometimes you have to see where the hole is. It's down there, so here. So you just have to go down, and there we go. So like I said, make sure they're all the way in, so they're flat. And now don't forget your little pins, because it's really important that we want to keep everything in place. If we're missing the pins or they fall off, I don't think that's good, because then your pads are gonna come out this way. So this is what keeps the pads in there. So these are the pins. They go right here, and so what we're gonna do, we're just gonna rotate when we see the little hole, and the little hole's right there, and we put the flat part through the hole, and then just all the way in. Okay, so it's secured, so there's no way that this pin will come out, because obviously it's being blocked by the pin. That's the whole purpose of the little pin. This one's already there, that's good. Same thing, just put the little pin through. It's not going in. It's probably because of the pin. Noches. Okay, we're done. So that's it. I'm sorry for making it long, but I tried to kind of explain everything. So if you check right there, everything is secured. Top one is secured. We have our hardware. Then we have the back secure. So right now we're just gonna go and drive it around, maybe, I don't know, and bedding the pads. I don't know if I want to show that, but to bed you just drive really slowly and just slightly brake, and you just go somewhere where you can go faster, and little by little increase the speed. And also don't put too much force on the brakes, because that kind of might mess up. So sometimes it tells you on the brake pads, like the process to bedding. So some brake pads are different, especially the performance ones. So yeah, we're done, and that's it. Huh? Oh, another thing that really helps, we put the car on both jack stands on both sides, and that way, you know, when we're working on this one, we just move the wheel this way, and we have all the space to work on each of the brakes. So all right, that's it.